How's it going? Wooden Spoon Supercoach here. Round 2 is done and dusted. Max come out on top this week, 215 over 1215 over 1204. Just haven't quite got that decent score yet to push me up those rankings, but I'm happy with my team. It'll come. How you going, Mac?
Good, thanks, mate. Very good. Got some green arrows this morning, so happy with that. Jumped up about 12,000 in the total rankings, so not too bad. Yeah, same as you though. Haven't got a big score yet, but it should be coming my way. Considering I had Drinkwater for the first couple of weeks, I held him and captained him again. I think I'm pretty happy with the rest of my team at least.
Yeah, and we'll get to our trade plans after we've gone over the games, but looking at my team now, it looks strong, so I'm very happy with it. Before we get to that, don't forget to join the group league. Code's on the screen there, 899247 for the $813 prize pool. $16.20 won this week, so absolutely smashing it. With a shout out to, who was it? Happy Bandit Gaming. He got a multi of AJ2 plus for the record with a Teddy and a Campbell Graham, which got him only $7 in the end because he had another bet on as well. It was like 60 cents on it or something, but still it's enough to push him up to third. So keep the bets coming. Don't forget to put them in the comments for round 3 coming up. Even though we haven't got teams lists yet, you can do it on the next video, or if you've got an idea of what you want to do, go for it. But yeah, up over $800. I think the next target will be that $1,000 that we can hopefully give away at the end of the year. For the first game, Broncos go down to the Eels. What have you got to say for yourself, Mac? Our teams aren't doing well.
Yeah, okay. So 0-2 from the rip from the Broncos. Look, they came out way better, that's for sure. And I did tip the margin in this game to be 8, but I guess I just had it the wrong way around. I think we just let the Eels back into the game with some real sloppy defense. And yeah, look, hopefully bounce back in the defense side of things next week against the Storm, or else we could be looking at getting beat 50-0. But pretty happy with Payne Haas, Reece Walsh, Pat Carrigan's in my team as well. And yeah, stoked to have held on to Jonah Pezzett as well. Iongi is proving to be a gun, another 99 from him. So yeah, look, Iongi is a potential pod option in that fullback spot. But yeah, anyone that's on Walsh should be happy with that. Payne Haas, obviously very popular, happy with that. Adam Reynolds, bit of a pod play in my girlfriend's team. She actually popped off with Renault in there, so that's well done to her. But yeah, what about you, mate? Thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I actually had the vice on Reece Walsh this game that I ended up pulling the trigger on, which also ended up being the right decision, so I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
I did make the decision, I think, before he got the update and he was on 94 or something, so it was like right teetering on that edge of where you're wondering, like, oh, is it worth doing it? And I thought, you know what, it's an extra 100 points at the start of the year. After the start I've had, I need to lock that up, so I took it.
I should have done that, but my rule was he needed to score 100 or more. So I did not loop. I stuck to my guns. I stuck to the rule I gave myself, and I backed Drinky in against the Tigers. And
Such a
it
big
wasn't.
balls play.
Look, it was looking really bad in the first half of
Yeah.
that game. But to be honest, he kind of pulled through a bit. But yeah, look, without the goal kicking and stuff, like Drinky's on the block. But yeah, look, I should have looped Reece Walsh as well. But regardless, well played to you, my friend. Well played.
So on the topic of Reynolds, he copped like a rib issue or something. Are we expecting
Yeah.
any sideline time for him?
I expect so. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
either a broken rib or a rib cartilage thing. I suspect they're more likely to rest him than to have him play through it with pain injections or something.
Yeah.
Obviously, watching for team lists, but with Ben Hunt there, like surely you just put Hunty into
Yeah.
7.
Don't
That
risk it.
probably unlocks Reece Walsh a bit more. We've got Blake Moser hanging around, so he can just move into that 14 role. I actually think that it could work out really good for Brisbane. So yeah, look, I'm happy if they rest him for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't be trading him in, that's for sure. But yeah, probably have to actually pivot away from him with that injury.
Yeah, absolutely. The reason I did bring that up was based on the uptick that should give Walsh. The stats show when Renault's out of the team, Walsh goes on these like crazy runs like he did towards the end of the last year. So the fact that I've brought him in for this week and potentially Reynolds is out of the team, they are coming up. They've got a tough match this week, but after that, we were all targeting him for that run anyway. So I'm happy with my decision to get him in that week early, and it's also freed up enough trades for me this week that I can get the team how I want it and not have to stress about it any further after that. So that's nice. Anyone else here? Ezra Mam had a bit of a shocker. 50 points isn't terrible for what he's priced at, but don't really like that.
I don't know how
Um,
Katoni Staggs scored 2 tries and only got 59 points. Like,
yeah,
yeah, just there's a bit of warning signs around here for the Broncos, but like relevant players, SuperCoach relevant players are doing their job, so
yeah,
that's fine. And yeah, anyone who had Mitch Moses, say, from the Eels, like, be pretty happy with the 65 there. Obviously, everybody that held Pezzett, they'll be happy with that because that 82 is going to be pretty valuable. He'll get 2 price changes out of that, being a week 2 game instead of a round 1 game. So, yeah, looking good there.
I think
But
I'd actually
otherwise,
be concerned with a 65 from Moses in a side that scores 40 points when he's the halfback. I don't like the look of that at all. If he's not
well,
involved in 40 points.
I wasn't expecting him to come out and score 80 points every week. I was just expecting him to score above his price. So anybody who
Yeah, yeah,
started with him, you'd be happy that he's at least, going to be making a little bit of money and you can look to upgrade him. But yeah, I think a lot of people went away from Moses already, so probably not super relevant.
yeah,
But yeah, and Tulangi again, like yeah, that's wild that he came out and top scored this game.
yeah. That's
But
funny.
the Broncos were just not defending, so I
Yeah,
would not expect that to repeat. And look, we made a couple of calls last week about plays that we wouldn't get onto, and they all turned out to be pretty accurate. So again, like I probably wouldn't jump on this Talangi, even though this looks good. Yeah, I wouldn't expect it to replicate.
we'll come back next week and see what his ownership stats is. Because of that 113 he's scored there. And I
Yeah,
reckon it'll be 2% at least. I reckon there's always a few people that just can't resist and jump on.
yeah, there
Um,
was a ton of people that got on Trindle, and then he
oh,
flopped
yeah.
exactly as we said. So yeah.
Moving on to the Warriors and the Raiders. Warriors are just going to be a fucking issue going over the ditch to get spanked by them. It's going to be very interesting to see their first away game and see how they perform in that. Because everyone's like,
Mm.
oh, they're going to be tough to beat at home. It's like, well, they could just be tough to beat, period. Like, we haven't seen them away yet.
Yeah, I think their system is actually looking really strong. Like their principles are obviously to work really hard for each other, to scramble in defense, to their effort plays are like through the roof. And considering the outs they had, Capewell out early, Chanel Tavita Harris out early, like Tane Tuapiki did amazing, and Leka Halasima absolutely killed it. So like these boys are going to be a problem all year, and I think it's because of their coaching, their principles that this side has. So, yeah, look, really good job from them. We talked about Tanner Boyd popping off with another 90 or 100 or so, and if that was going to be relevant, and he's done it. But yeah, I'm still not going there.
I haven't genuinely considered it, but looking at him now, minus 41 break even, he's set to go up 100k by stepping on the park. Because I am moving Sam Walker on this week. It's one of the things I'm doing. And 574, maybe if he was like 500 flat, then I could go for a bit of a flyer on him. But 574 is just a little bit much, even if he is. Yeah, because any money he makes, the guys that you're going towards are also making that money. So it doesn't really help you get there. Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's just a stepping stone. Like you're doing one trade to bank a 100K maybe, and then you realize, oh, he's peaked already.
Yeah.
And then you have to trade him again. So like sure, like you could see it as a stepping stone, but I don't know. If he comes out and does another 90 again next week, then there's
Yeah,
a real
God.
point to be made that the form is there this year. But with a sample size of 2,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
still an avoid for me. Noah Martin, I actually ended up playing Noah Martin this week, and I was pretty happy with it because I was a bit nervous, but he played his 80 minutes. Remember I said last week maybe Ricky just wants to play 2 80-minute edges. He did that. So yeah, I was like stoked with Noah Martin. Huge work rate, especially lots of tackles there. And he was so close to scoring like 3 times. And there's a few other opportunities where when one of their halves or somebody's drifting across field, he is the first guy to run straight and run at a gap every time. And I can tell that that's just going to pay off for him throughout the season. So yeah, stoked to bring Martin in and stoked with his score so far.
He's got that fire in his belly.
Yeah.
Um, just quickly on Halasima. So with was it Capewell's injury?
Yeah.
Um, I can't remember what I'd heard about this. I'd researched this before, but I can't actually remember whether he is ending up with that 80-minute role or if he is still coming off the bench as impact. If he is getting that 80-minute role, break even to 14, 500k, it's appealing, but it's a bit awkward.
I'm
Um,
just not sure what their plan is because they've said they want to use him as like a utility player off the bench, right? And there will be opportunities this year where he comes and plays big minutes, and this was obviously one of those games, but he could do this for another 3 or 4 weeks, and then Kurt Capewell comes back in and Lecker goes back to the bench, and
yeah.
it just, I don't know. I don't really want to get on somebody who I may have to get off later in this position because there's a lot
Yes.
of kind of season hold players, or cheapies that are going to generate a lot more than he could, being at that sort of 500,000 mark. Looking at players like Lasardi for 280 that will make it all the way up to sort of 600. So yeah, look, probably an avoid for me for now. But if it comes out with Webster saying something like, "Yep, look, Lecker's that good. We're putting him in every week for 80 minutes," then sure I could get on board. But until that's sort of confirmed, I'm yeah probably still staying away from Lecker, even though he's a damn good player and he's good to watch.
One of the other second row forwards who's had a good score here, Aaron Clark. So
Mm.
he mustn't have done too well last week because his break even is 84.
Yeah, a bit of a down week last week for what I would say is like a top tier 2RF. But yeah, this is more on point for him. Really good ball playing, really hard runner, really high work rate. Absolutely love Aaron Clark. Anyone who's they getting off Tino, Aaron Clark is an option. So yeah, look, personally, gun player and a target, but not just yet for me.
Yeah. I think I mean obviously because this is what I've done in my team, I'm just giving away the trades I'm doing pretty much before we get to it each time, but I've also sold Tino. I like doing the downgrade there to free up money. Like
Mm.
I had the money to upgrade him, but I'm thinking in 2RF specifically, we've got enough going on there. I think if you've got one gun that's doing okay, I think you can probably free up money in a Tino situation and just push it. Well, I say push it wherever you need to. I was lucky enough to have Noah Martin down in flex, so I could just pop him up. And like I said last video, I want to use the flex in like a trading way, so that whenever I
Mm.
need to get someone in and out, it just gives me that ultimate flexibility.
Yeah.
I definitely
One,
veered
one,
off my first point there, but whatever. Tangent time.
One name for me on the team list, which is going to be critical this week because I'm seriously considering him, is Sasangi. This guy, I picked him up in draft, and he was the hero of my draft team this week, even though I still lost because I had Drinkwater in draft as well. Sasangi, look at that break even. If it turns out that he's getting a start again, or like maybe if he does keep Timoko's spot, or maybe he switches to take Seb Chris spot on the other side, or maybe he gets a start in second row. This guy's a weapon. So yeah, look, that's a close team list watch for me. But if he's named to start and I expect big minutes from Sasangi, then he's somebody that I would definitely trade into my team. But I have a feeling Ricky's going to bench him again next week and he's going to go into that sort of forward rotation. So probably not, but a close watch.
Yeah, just going into the forward rotation is sort of what I'd put my money on. But he still will get that price rise. And he does also have that really nice 2RF and wing duel. So I can't really see how he'd fit into
Great
my
choice for
team.
draft.
But yeah,
Yeah, he's more of a draft guy. If somebody hasn't picked him up in your draft league, absolutely get on him. Although I'm sure somebody already has.
cool. Who else we got? We got Sanders with a 39, which is,
Yeah,
par for the course, whatever. Not much to say
cool.
there.
That's
Uh,
why we said to hold Atkinson this week and not worry about jumping straight onto Sanders after one game.
yeah,
Another one that we were right on.
that's it. We just
Let's
can't
go.
get our scores right.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
So, Roosters take out the Rabbitohs. Johnston breaks the all-time try scoring record. Finally, I feel like we've been talking about it coming for the last sort of year and a half, but yeah, a great moment. I had a bet on it. One of the viewers had a bet on it for the prize pool as well. So everyone wins. Just good times all around for this game.
Yep. If you have Teddy, you'd be okay with this score. Like he wasn't amazing, but their team sort of struggled to make some things happen, and they still came out with a win. So you'd be happy with that. Teddy is, again, he's just a season hold. Like, if you've got Teddy, you're not worried about him leaking a bit of money at the start. He's going to make it back. He's not going to play Origin. He's going to average 80 for the year, like, or more. So just hold him. He's a gun. And yeah, look, he's really involved, and look, he'll be great. This is just a bit of a lower score, but yeah, I could see Teddy averaging 80 or 90 this season, like normal. Latrell Mitchell is a tough one for me. Like, I just don't want to bring him into my team. I'm just don't like him. But it's like, look, if my Supercoach team struggles all year, then next year I'm just going to say, I don't care if I like players or not, I'm getting them, So at this point, I'm still fading Latrell, and I'm happy that that worked out this week with somebody like Cody Walker only scoring 30. I'm great. I'm stoked with that. But yeah, Latrell is looking really dangerous. He's looking like a top 4 center wing that you kind of need in your team. And absolutely, my advice is probably for everybody to get him. If you haven't got him, get him. I personally won't, just because I can't cheer for him, like we've said in previous videos. But yeah, he's dangerous.
Yeah, so this is another one that's very relevant for me this week, because my final trade is between bringing in Mitchell and bringing in someone else, and I've narrowed it down to the point where it's like, yep, these are the guys that are the smartest to be trading out of my team right now. Who can I replace him with? And he fits into the frame, so it's a
Yeah.
very
If
real world where I bring him in this week.
Yeah, the only person I would bring in over Latrell Mitchell, if you haven't got him already, is Herbie Farnworth.
Yeah,
And obviously there's a big price difference there. So, yeah, look, it makes a lot of sense. I would bring Mitchell in if I didn't despise him. So, yeah.
yeah, he fucking
For
doesn't
Feeder,
even.
Feeder's 67. Like, it wasn't a great game for him, but this is basically his floor. So, yeah, stoked with Fafita. He's going to be making money. He's doing his job, and he will bust out some attacking stats every now and then. Keon, again, happy with Keon. Wouldn't mind to see a couple more offloads and stuff, but we'll see how they go as they get their roll on South here. And I think there'll be games where Keon does 80 or 90 points, like we saw last year. There was a couple of big ones there. He just needs to get an offload or a line break or something to help him out. And then yeah, Sam Walker. I think we both had him. And yeah, I'm probably going to jump off the Walker train this week before he leaks money and jump back onto like a Nico Hines or something, who I was really big on all preseason, but then one game from Walker obviously
Why
caught
did
my attention.
why
Yeah.
did Walker have to free up that little bit of money? Because that's the only reason I picked him like over Hines. Like, he was definitely locked into my side for ages, but Hines was in the conversation. It's
Yeah.
frustrating, but what can you do?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Cody Walker with a 34, that kind of stings, but you know,
His average is still fine over. He's still
yeah,
making money over the first 2 weeks. So if he comes out next week and scores 50 or more, then he's making money, and that's what his job is in your
yeah,
team. I don't think you're banking on him scoring 90 points every week, but as
yeah,
long as
God
he's
no.
making money and you're trading him out once he peaks, then it's a good hold. But yeah, as a Cody fader, I'm stoked with Jackson Purdue's 70 odd points this week in 5/8. I was happy with that. So, but yeah, this was a bloody good game to watch, and I actually tipped the Roosters. I got 6 out of 8 tips this week, so not too bad on the tipping front. Yeah.
Very nice. I gave up on tipping. Like, when I started the channel, it was just I do enough footy shit. I don't need to forget my tips one week and then it's cooked.
I joined the bloke tipping comp on that new app, MemberX, and
Oh yeah,
yeah, there's only about 500 people that have joined the tipping comp in there, and I think I'm doing all right so far. Like, the first week was a bit rough, but a lot of people had a bit of a rough week in week one.
yeah, naturally.
But yeah, this one 6 out of 8, not too bad. And honestly, I probably should have tipped the Tigers, but I tipped the Cowboys, even though I knew it was at Leichhardt and I knew the Tigers would show up. I was just banking on the Cowboys, like having a bounce back and drink water. I was just all in on Drinky. Yeah, that's my mistake.
You're doing your best to manifest a good drinking performance, but
Yeah, it
can't
was
have
all
it
right.
all.
He was all right. He scored twice what he scored the week before, so I
Yeah.
can't complain.
With
I might have
Walker.
sent you a rage. Yeah,
No, go on.
I might have
Y-
sent you a raging message at halftime about how Drinkwater has killed my entire season already. But
Yes.
he
Yes.
ended up pulling through, so it wasn't too bad. But Tom Chester. Oh, anyway, we'll get there. We'll get there. Let's stick to this game.
Yeah, Cody Walker. So he comes up against the Tigers next week. I would love for him to get a nice, what would I call a nice score? A 70, I would call nice. If he could get a 70 against the Tigers and have that in his most recent score in the rolling average, that would be huge for him. If he comes out and scores another 34, then all of a sudden that 100 drops out the week after and his cash gen just falls off a cliff. So big game for him next week in a Supercoach sense. So hopefully he can pull through and do that for us. Think we can probably move on to...
Yeah, just on Sam Walker, anyone
Yes.
who's thinking about still holding him, I would actually consider that. Like I was considering to hold Sam Walker this week, and we'll get to trades more, I guess, probably in the next video. But early trades at this point, I'm looking at switching him out for Hines because I've got the funds and because I don't have any other fires in my team. But if you've got fires in your team that you need to put out and you're worried about Sam Walker, just hold him. Like I'm sure he's going to pick up. He's going to have some big games this year. They're just trying to work through their system and work out what's working and what's not. So look, I'd be happy to hold Walker, but personally I've got the funds and I don't have any other problems to solve. So he's kind of like the weakest point in my team right now. But if he's the weakest point in your team, then move him on to like a Cleary or a Hines. But if you have other bigger fish to fry, then by all means hold Sam Walker. He'll be good.
I think what worries me about him is just how much Ches is doing. Like all preseason we hear like, oh yeah, he'll be second fiddle, blah blah blah, when Ches is doing more in attack than Sam Walker. And that's, I brought him in on that premise, so I'm more than happy to get rid of him on that premise and bring in a guy who is first fiddle, so to speak, to the team. But
Yeah, I
again,
think
I'm
Sam
trying to
Walker
move on to my
is.
trades. I'll save it for later.
Yeah, I think Sam Walker, I think he's first fiddle. He's just not having the luck with his execution at the moment.
Yeah.
So then the next play, they spread it out the other direction. And in this particular game, Cherry iced a couple of moments.
Yeah.
So, yeah, look, when Sam Walker clicks, yeah, he will be the guy. So,
Yeah. There will be scores, 100%.
Angus Crichton, anyone on Angus Crichton, just get off.
Yeah.
He's not going to make money.
Yeah, he floated around a few drafts of my team, but I just couldn't. We're all wanting him to get back to that Angus Crichton of like a few years ago, and it just keeps getting further and further away. I think he's done as a Supercoach player. We'll
Maybe
move
not
on.
done, but yeah.
Not done, but like I mean, he's done to me. I won't be picking him unless he starts going on a try scoring run, but.
Yeah, I wasn't picking him to start the season, and anyone who's literally jumping codes at the end of the year, I'm just like, why? Like, have some loyalty. You know what I mean? He's going to be looking after his body. The effort just doesn't seem to be there through contact and stuff like that, or the work rate. Like, yeah, I don't know. New combinations. I don't know.
And even just being another year older, like he's on the downward trajectory. He's been a gun of the past, but Father Time always wins, as they say. So, Tigers, Cowboys. Dewey and Luai, both with a 115 each. Dewey is actually another pretty decent replacement option for Sam Walker. Break even of 3. Obviously, this is his second game, as in this week coming up.
Yeah.
Second game coming up, So, we've got another week to make a decision on him. But the fact that I'm making a halfback decision now... Again, it's a 115 at the start of his rolling average, and it's against the Cowboys, who are chalking up to be rather shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a world where I can see myself doing it, but probably not just after one game.
He's good, and he's goal kicking, and the Tigers look dangerous, so I think they will score lots of points this year. I actually love the Dewey play. I'm not going to do it with my team, but I think, like I said, my girlfriend had Reynolds, and I'm pretty keen to sort of switch off Reynolds onto somebody like a Dewey, because there's not a big price jump there, and like Dewey's looking promising. So he's a great pod option if he even is still a pod, because there's been a bit of chat about it. I don't mind Dewey in Steven. He's doing a great job there, and he's goal kicking, so that's good.
Yeah, and he's always been relevant when he's been fit for Supercoach, so would be rude to leave him out. So we got Terrell May with a 78. So I'll make a cut here, and I'll just quickly look up how many minutes he did.
53 minutes.
53.
53 minutes.
Yeah, wow.
Beast. Yeah, so Terrell May, 53 minutes, absolute beast, looked to offload every single run. And actually, the Tigers in general have clearly all got the license to offload. I think there was about 10 minutes into the game, and they were 10 offloads to the Cowboys' one. And the second phase play made them extremely dangerous. So basically, all the forwards from the Tigers are looking good because offloads they stack up when they're allowed to throw them that often. So yeah, KPP actually didn't get too many offloads away, but with two tries there, or I think it was two tries for. Yeah, let me just double check that. Best
34 points in
ball.
tries, yes.
Yeah, two tries, right? So KPP really strong without the offloads that we know he's capable of, but this whole team just looked willing to pop the ball out the back of a tackle. So yeah, look, Tigers are looking good, but it's been one game, so I'm not gonna sing too many praises just yet. I still don't think they're making the eight, but they are impressive. And they are dangerous, and it looks like they've got attacking stats in them. So, yep, I could get behind definitely a Terrell May or a IPS Paul. Bit of a bummer about Taylor May with the sublex shoulder. Not sure how long that's going to be a problem for him. So anyone that did have Taylor May, I would probably be looking to switch him out for somebody else. Plenty of people making money in the centre wing position. Macassini on 48 with no attacking stats. That's great. That's fine. That's his first game in centre. He's making money. He's doing his job. So definitely a hold there. Nothing to worry about.
Over on the Cowboys side of things, Chester, he is shaping up to be the one that got away for me in terms of the cheapies that are going to go up a significant amount next week.
You don't have Chester?
I don't have Chester.
Bro, you should see how he runs. Have you watched him play?
I have,
Every time
yeah.
he runs, yeah, he just runs really hard. He looks so hungry to make something happen. Scored a great try for himself in this one. Yeah, look, Tom Chester is good and he's cheap. I don't think Labet's getting that spot back anytime soon. So yeah, stoked with Chester. I'd actually just about play him nearly every week. His work rate is great and his running is really strong. So yeah, stoked with Chester.
How is he doing this in this Cowboys team that's scoring no points? Like, if the Cowboys were like flying, this guy'd be like scoring tons week after week.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I just don't. I can't really justify the trade. Like, yes, it's guaranteed money, but he's got the injury history. There is the job security slightly up in the air, which is why I didn't bring
Mhm.
him in the first place. And to
Yeah.
take him out, I think I'd have to trade him for a Cobbo or something who has been underperforming. But that just seems a little too
Yeah.
reactionary to do that.
I hear you. I don't have Moses Leo, so like
Yeah,
anyone
I
who
don't have
didn't
him
start
either.
with all, anyone who only started with three or four of the center wing chibis and not all five, I unless you've got no other problems in your team, then sure maybe. But you are downgrading like somebody who's like a mid grade that you've got like a Cobo or something. You're downgrading them to this, so it does feel a bit risky. I did consider trading Cobo for Moses Leo, for example, this week, but it just doesn't feel like I don't know the vibes aren't quite right for that. There's plenty of other people making money. So yeah, look, if you don't have him, I probably wouldn't look to trade him in just yet. But yeah, he's looking promising, that's for sure. And anyone who does have him, yeah, it's looking good.
I think you can trade in Chester if whoever you're trading out isn't only being traded out to get Chester in. So you need to get someone out as badly as you need to get someone in. So in
Yeah.
my team, for instance, I was looking at potentially getting rid of Kaoliro for either Moses Leo or Chester or Cobo. But this was my third trade, so I decided not to do it. It seemed like, I've ticked off enough boxes this week. But
Yeah.
if you're desperate to get a few of these cheapies in and you have an underperforming gun and you can kill
Mm.
two birds with one stone with that move, then I rate that 100%.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't trade out Eero yet. Cobo, I thought about it, but I'm going to give him another week.
Yeah.
And if he leaks a little bit of cash, like, I don't know, it is what it is. Like, my other option was to try and upgrade him to Herbie this week, but I think it's more important to fix the Sam Walker problem
Yeah.
because there's plenty of cheapies making money in center wing. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree though. Like if you've got somebody leaking money and you want to get them out before they drop, then sure, jump onto Chester if you don't have him.
Yeah.
He's good. Purdue, happy with Purdue in this one as well. Scored a try. So yeah, as soon as these centers from the Cowboys pick up an attacking stat, they're scoring 70 points. The work rate is there. They're both dangerous with the footy. Purdue in the 5'8" spot is, yeah, it's good, looking good.
Yeah, I might have to get one, maybe two cash rises out of Cody Walker and flip straight over to Purdue. Because while I feel like he's like Cody Walker in the way that he can go low, he can go big, but he doesn't go as
Yeah.
low or as big. I suppose he can go
Yeah.
as big. He's had a few
If you
pretty
don't
massive
if you
ones.
don't have him, like you'd probably try more to get upgrades like a Munster or something, I think. Like I do think with the way that the referees are going and stuff that the higher performing teams are going to be the ones that you want to target, and the Cowboys look like they're going to be kind of trash. So
Yeah.
I would, if you're doing that as like a stepping stone towards a monster or something, like it's a little bit
Mm.
scary. I'd maybe just try and take the full jump. But if you started with Purdue, then yeah, he's a hold. Keep watching for a few weeks. It's going to be a bit of a roller coaster, but yeah, he could end up getting you, nearly all the way to a monster or something with these kind of scores.
Yeah,
Drinkwater's
I'm
out.
just gonna ignore 5'8" for now. I don't want to spend any trades there.
Yeah, that's right. I've actually got in my notes from before the season, like don't waste too many trades in halfback and 5'8". Like just grab
Yeah.
somebody and just keep him for a bit. Drinkwater though, it's a problem. He's not kicking goals. The Cowboys look flat. They look a bit shit. So yep, Drinkwater, he's out. He's on the block for me this week. I gave him another chance and he did perform a bit better, but 58 when I had the captaincy on him, not enough. He's on the block. Anybody that held Drinky, uh, you know, solid, solid effort, and I respect the fact that you gave him another chance, like I did. But yep, it's time to get rid of him.
Yeah, big props to if you did hold him, because especially in round one, you are just itching to be making trades. So respect that.
Yeah.
And it's definitely nowhere near as bad as it could have been. You know, we've only got to look back another 7 days and he's out his score in 20s. But yeah, time to move him on, I think. And then what's he got the Titans next week, and he'll probably go 150 once everyone's gotten rid of him. Marnie with the 41 is fine. He's probably gonna be a bit of a plotter and just stay around
The
that price.
minutes though, bit of a problem.
Yeah.
Reed
Oh, true.
Marnie,
Yeah,
let's see
Lukey.
here.
Not
So
Lukey. What's his name?
Lukey did play. Let me just have a quick
Sonny
squiz.
Luke. That's
Reed
the one.
Marnie. Yeah, sorry, Sonny Luke. Marnie only 56 minutes.
Mm,
So if that happens again, then I'd be looking to get off pretty quick before. Yeah, he's not going to be making enough money. Let's try and make your way towards Harry Grant or Blake Brayley. Honestly, if you started with Marnie as your hooker one, maybe that's one of your biggest fires this week because Harry Grant is going off and he's cheaper than Brayley and he's outscoring Brayley. So yeah, to start the season, Harry Grant is the man. If you don't have any other problems, read Marnie to Harry Grant. Find a way to make it happen.
yep. And we've always got Brandon Smith coming back as an easy downgrade, but I can't imagine too many
That's
people would
that's
not have
fine.
them in their
If
team.
Yeah, look, if Reed's your hooker too, then maybe you can jump off and get back onto Cheese early or something before he leaks money, sure. But if he's your number one, you'd probably want to make a
Yeah.
move pretty quick. Yeah.
Yeah. Sell an underperforming gun and just get up to Harry Grant, I think is the
Yep.
safest advice I can give there.
Yep.
Cool. Speaking of Harry Grant, what did he get this week? 108 under
Smashed it.
Farlongo's 155. I literally, as soon as my phone buzzed and told me my score, I was like, "Yep, old mate out." Who I won't reveal just yet. Farlongo in. That's just if you don't have him, he's a must-have this week. I think it's as simple as that.
Yep. Farlongo, big break even, looks super dangerous. Storm look really good. They look disciplined. They look like one of the 3 or 4 teams that's actually, adjusted to the new rules or the new refereeing, I suppose. And yeah, look, Farlongo, there will be games where he scores 30, but he's going to do this every now and then as well. A triple in this one, and seriously, he scored all 3 of them like basically by himself with just electric footwork and skills. So yeah, Farlongo, get him in your team, cheer him on. He's a weapon.
Was it this week he did the little chip and chase right under the post there? Or was that last week? I can't remember.
I think that was last week. Yeah,
He's just
this
got a
week,
highlight reel every game, bro. It's
yeah.
crazy.
And Harry Grant is just like having way too much fun around the ruck at the moment. Just tearing up markers and A defenders when they're offside, just making meters for free constantly. And yeah, just Harry Grant is a weapon. Scored again, like untouched, close to the line. If you don't pay attention to him, just yeah. I don't know how they let him through, to be honest. It's a joke. But Harry Grant, absolutely on fire to start the season. Started at only 600K. He scored basically, he's turned up twice. So, look, if you didn't start with him, then yeah, get him.
100%. Even pretty much all of these Melbourne guys, when they're coming out scoring 50 every week, they're all going to be options. So Warbrick with a 93, negative 28 break even, projected to go up 80K. I know there was
Yep.
a few draft teams starting with him. So if you ended up going there, I think he might have ended up as a bit of a pod in the end. I think a lot of people faded him. But
Yeah, I was talking about getting him, thinking that he was going to be a bit of a sneaky shout at the start of the
mm,
season. But I was a bit concerned about the head knock stuff, and I wasn't
yeah,
sure
yeah,
how consistent he would be. But so far, he's been great. Stefano as well with 81 in this
yes.
one. He's great. Lasardi and Chan. This is where the biggest news really comes in for Melbourne. Sean Bloor injured himself in Cup, so he's out for a bit more. That's more security. Lasardi straight in my team this week, I think.
Yeah, there was just, I've said it probably more than any other player. Just too many question marks. Those question marks have resolved themselves, and now we're in a position where we can just get him in, and there's no risk to it.
Yep.
If we'd made this decision last week, if I had made this decision last week, I probably would have ended up going with Chan. But now they're both got very good job security, and Lasardi is the one who is scoring higher, lower break even.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think targets for the Storm. I think Munster not so much. I think it is really the guys everyone's already got in Farlongo, Grant, Lasardi. I was gonna say maybe an Utoy Kamanu, but what's he priced at? 16 break even. Yeah, even him. I've got no qualms
Yeah,
bringing
he's
any of
quite
these
cheap.
guys in. They're
I
killing
think
it.
Stefan's only 515,000 or something like that.
Yeah,
So he's a solid shout. On the Dragons, Ryan Couchman extended minutes again due to Toby Couchman getting a bit of a minor injury and having a bit of a minute shortage there. He did end up coming back on, but he was off for a bit longer than normal. And then yeah, look, I'm not sure about what Ryan Couchman's minutes actually look like yet. So he's probably going to be one of the most traded in players this week, and I can absolutely get behind it. But for me personally, I think I'm just going to wait and see a little bit longer. Valentine Holmes is for sure like a gun CTW. Like you could definitely go for him if you started with him, you'd be stoked. If you're thinking about a gun tier CT dub that you want to bring in, then sure, he's right up there with Herbie and Latrell. Um, I've got Leilua as well. I started with him. I'm actually holding him still. I'm pretty happy with this. 60 points. Basically, he's done 60 points back to back. He's priced about 42. So, yeah, look, he's making money for me. It's not a problem right now. I would prefer to have an 80-minute back rower there. He does seem to be playing a little bit shorter minutes than I was hoping for. But he also hasn't picked up an attacking stat yet. So once he does that, then yeah, he could be really looking to cause some damage. So anyone that's on Luciano Leilua, not a problem. Hold Atkinson, obviously 59 this week, looking much better. So now he's got a nice negative break even. He's making money. Don't waste your trades there. If you've got Atkinson, hold him, as we said last week. Give him a couple more weeks, see how he goes, for sure. Just checking on Luciano Leilua's minutes there, 67. Yeah. So would have preferred if he got up to 80 minutes, but if he picks up an attacking stat, he's a weapon. Good work rate. Yeah, so love to see Luch doing well. Otherwise, I don't think there's anybody really relevant on the Dragons.
yeah. I think you pretty much covered it. Hold Atkinson, hold Leilua, Ryan Couchman as a buy minus 65 break even. Totally could. Plenty of options.
Yep.
I think
We just
as
haven't seen what his actual minutes look like yet because they
yeah,
keep getting injuries.
yeah, that's the thing. And What was the nature of Toby Couchman's injury? Is he going to be time off or just didn't finish the game?
No, he came back on. He just
Okay.
had a bit of a longer break than he
Okay,
would
right.
normally. So yeah.
So maybe the rotation is just going to be inconsistent. I remember when I had DeBellin, I think last year. I seem to remember his minutes at periods throughout the year just getting really skew-if, and there was no logic to it almost. But I guess that's just how Flano likes to coach. Cool. Let's move on to Panthers and the Sharks. Cleary with a 109, showing his price tag off. Brian Toto redeems himself with an 87. Without that try, he also would have been on the chopping block for me this week, but he's stabilized his break even. Happy with him. IPAP owners, you'd definitely be happy. Casey McLean and Tom Jenkins, just these guys are two that I would love to have in my team, but I just can't tactically get them in.
Yeah, centre wing is basically about cash cows at the moment. So you could probably, everybody's only got 2 to 3 kind of gun to mid-range centre wingers. If one of them is Casey McLean or Tom Jenkins, then that's fine. That's no worries. But I wouldn't be making any plays towards them just yet. If you're trying to bring somebody in, then you're trying to bring in a Herbie or a Latrell or a Holmes or something. But yeah, Casey McLean, thought about starting with him, ended up going away from it, and he did start a bit slow, but yeah, Panthers are going to be good. I think my main takeaway from this game was that sit first start every week. If your players are coming up against the Panthers, bench them. Like don't play them because the Panthers are just shutting everyone down. This could have been another 26-0, exactly like against the Broncos, if it wasn't for one missed tackle by Tom Jenkins. And the Panthers still scrambled and they still nearly got there, but Katoa broke that one tackle and he had just enough room to get the ball down, even though the cover defense was coming across. But if Jenkins makes that tackle, like there was no space, it was one-on-one. The Panthers defense is really good. I can't see any teams skinning him on the edges. They're going to be picking up your best chance to score against the Panthers, junk tries through the middle if you catch somebody off guard or something. So, yeah, Panthers are basically SuperCoach killers this year. So, yeah, don't take anything too seriously away from this, from the Sharks side of things, like your, Brayley owners or your Nico Hines owners or Kale Ero owners. It's fine. This is what the Panthers are going to do next week. They'll bounce back. The Sharks will bounce back.
100%. Shout out to the Milky Bar kid. That missed tackle won a multi for me. So love that. Yeah, I'm in the Kale Ero owners club and it's a very fun club to be in. But a 55 against Penrith, who are shutting everyone out, shows that he is still a gun option. And yes, the big criticism on bringing him in this year was that he scored so many tries and he'd have to do it again. It's not ideal. And if my team was like a little bit better, he'd be out this week. But it's just not that much of a priority. I think he's set to, lose about 50K. But if next week against the Dolphins he does manage to score, maybe he gets himself like an 87 or something and he's only losing 20K and then all of a sudden it's not that bad. So he gets another week. Jesse Colhoun with a 69 is a massive score for anyone who held on to him. Turns out he was the guy over Flegler in the end, but we'll get to that in the next game. Stone Street, 55. I think everyone has rightfully faded him. Nico Hines with a 41. He'll be back to his best when he comes up against a not once in a decade team.
Anyone other than the Panthers.
Yeah, literally. I wouldn't panic on the Sharks. I think they will bounce back next week. And
I don't even reckon you can get far enough down to see Braden Trindle's pathetic 22 here. So, yep.
Yeah, the cop won't allow it.
It doesn't even make the screenshot.
Doesn't make the cut.
So, yep. Trindle, no.
Cool. We'll move on to Dolphins Titans. So, this...
You mean Manly versus the Knights?
Oh, nah, I reckon we just skip over that one.
Yeah, you actually just tried to skip over.
That was a genuine mistake, but you can forgive me for wanting to try.
I said
Yeah,
it since the start
fuck.
of the year. Manly, they're getting the spoon. They've
No,
just
no,
lost
no,
two in
no,
a
no.
row at
16th.
Brookvale, and one of them was against last year's spoon. So yeah, nah, terrible, terrible.
Yeah, but we
Tommy
took
looks good.
last year's minor premiers to Golden Point and then just forgot to put pressure on the goal kicker. So
Yeah.
yeah, look, I feel nothing. I'm numb to
Tommy
it
was
now.
good. Olakawatu is good. They're the only people in this team that are worth considering.
Paseka,
Because
he's still
again,
doing all right.
yeah, he's doing all right. If you've got him, he'll make his little bit of money, and then you'll move him on. But yeah, I'm not bringing him in. As what I said before, the teams that are going to perform best throughout this comp are the ones that you want to target because there's going to be lots of points up for grabs, and the Sea Eagles are not that team.
Yep.
So yeah, maybe you could get Tommy Turbo, maybe you could get Olakawatu, but I honestly think there's better options in both positions.
Yes, I've put together a little data sheet showing who the top 4 teams are to target, which we'll have a look at shortly. And Manly is one of those 4 teams. So yeah, keep that in
Oh, you're
mind
talking
when you're
about the sit
targeting
first
matchups.
starts. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Anybody playing against the Eagles, play them.
yeah.
Yep.
Any who knows what's gonna happen. That was one of the most depressing games I've ever watched them fucking play.
Terrible.
Anyway, on a lighter note, Dom Young with a 91. He's also an option for raking up a lot of cash. His just attacking stat reliance has always kind of warded me off him a little bit, but cheeky cash grab there if you want to go something different. Trey Mooney, he's chugging along just fine. I still
Yep.
can't believe you haven't got him. That's
I'm actually not trading him in either. I think I've got a better cash cow options. Like he's due to make money for sure, but Lasardi is a lot cheaper and due to make
yeah,
more money. So yep, no worries. I'm still fading Mooney. Big news out of this one though, for sure. Dylan Brown and Kalen Ponga both injured.
yes,
I think Kalen Ponga, from what I saw on Instagram, is pretty serious hamstring. Couple of torn fibers in there, 6 to 8 weeks or something potentially. So
God.
anyone that traded in Ponga, get straight onto Falongo, and I mean, or maybe Turbo, I suppose. Otherwise, yeah, Dylan Brown. Probably not a lot of people on Dylan Brown, but knee injury is going to have him sidelined for a few weeks as well. So yeah, Knights probably going to start struggling without their 2 best playmakers, but yeah, not against the Eagles.
Yeah, no. And shout out to the coaching masterclass of Siebes, who is bringing Wakeham off the fucking bench instead of Joey Walsh. You love to see it.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, cool. Can we move on, please?
yeah, we can move on.
Oh, dude! I actually, before we started recording, I watched the Manly play the New South Wales Cup game, so I got to watch my team get fisted twice, which was nice. But yeah, God, I'm already kind of dejected from the season. If we lose to the fucking Roosters after the bye and Ches gets that over us, I will be so upset.
I thought we were moving on.
Yeah, I'm trying. All right, Dolphins and Titans. Fino Fuiaki within 102 is not a score I've expected to see ever.
Oh, I
Um,
picked him up in draft and
oh,
I
did you?
was stoked. Yep,
Hell
because
yeah.
I actually thought that he looked really dangerous last week. And then yeah, look, he did score a bit of a junky try, but to be honest, outside of that, he was extremely dangerous every time he got the ball. So, yep, love to see that from Finifuiaki. Honestly, I don't mind the shout even for classic. I actually had a bit of a look, but again, sort of same rule as I applied to Trey Mooney. There's other people there that are going to make the same money that are cheaper. So I've just
Yeah.
gone with, like I said, gone with Lasardi for now, and that freed up extra cash to do what I wanted to do. You'd be stoked with Fini Fuiaki, Tabuai Fido did well, Herbie Farnworth. He did nearly nothing for the 78. He just, not only does he have the license to offload, it's almost like he's compelled to
It's a
offload every
default setting
single
for
time.
him.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. It's just automatic offload. Yeah. So yeah, Herbie, very scary fade at this point. Haven't brought him in yet, thought about it. But hoping he is still due to drop just a tiny bit of cash if he has another sort of 70 odd score in him this week, then he'll drop just a little bit of cash, make himself a little bit more affordable. I'm getting on as soon as I can, though. It just wasn't the biggest problem in my team right now. So, yeah. But this game was a proper poo slinger. Like, I don't
Oh,
know. It was just like the first half, they were just warming up or something. Both teams. Like, I don't
I
really know what's going on.
this is probably the fastest I've ever tapped out of a game. I think I was like maybe 10 or 12 minutes in. I'm just like, I just don't fucking care, which in round two is insane.
That's
Like,
kind of how I felt about the Panthers Sharks game. I was like, oh, the Panthers are just suffocating them.
yeah,
Boring.
yeah,
But
God.
nah, I get what you're saying. Look, to be honest, when the attack clicks at the Dolphins, they are extremely dangerous. They just haven't quite got that timing right yet.
Yeah.
And yeah, but look, they bounced back. They did well. They look in very dangerous off kicks and stuff like that as well. So love to see it. On the Titan side, as a Bo Fermor owner, I am extremely satisfied with him outscoring Tino Fasuama Ali for less money on my team as well. Stoked with that. So Bo Fermor, again, hasn't picked up an attacking stat yet. So once he does, he could easily score 80 points or something like that. I think that 60 is about his floor. So stoked with Fermor. Kinney, apparently Kinney scores a lot better with JC in the team,
Mm,
and that does make sense to me because they don't seem to get him the ball in good position very often. So I don't know if it's just Ilias isn't really used to playing with Kinney and can't find a pass to Kinney often enough or something. So yeah, look, I'm still holding Kinney, although I did consider the sort of sideways trade from Kinney to Farlongo, and that would have enabled me to go Drinkwater to like a Herbie.
mm,
Except I don't want to fade Kinney because he will pop off at some point, and I
yes.
want to have him in my team when that happens.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that that pop off, and I think obviously it depends on when JC's back in the team, but he's doing all right at just holding his value. He'll even make a little bit of
Yeah,
money. Um, once we see that like big score when JC's back and the Titans actually put together a game, I think I'm gonna just ride out that big score in the rolling average and then get rid of him unless I see a massive improvement from the Titans as a whole, which I don't know where they're going to pull that improvement from. It's looking absolutely dire at the moment.
yeah. I'm not going to make any trades on Kinney unless he becomes a problem in my team. And right now, there's bigger problems, and he's not even a problem, so it's fine.
Yep.
Arama Ho, I think they corrected themselves on the commentary team. That's how he likes it to be said. Arama Ho. Stoked. Yep. Looks
Yeah,
dangerous.
100%.
Nearly scored a couple of tries. Was just short of the line. He's got an offload in him. Yeah, he's a workhorse. Stoked with having him there. I've actually just pivoted him up into my front row 4 to make way for Lasati and got rid of my Nuff. So, yep. Aramaho, definitely a keeper. Fayami, pretty happy with him as well. 44 points in this when they didn't score much.
Yep.
Yep, stoked. Tino, we were said he was on minute watch. I think he's carrying something in his knee, or I'm not sure, but yeah, it doesn't look really strong in contact. Doesn't seem to be doing big minutes. I would be moving off Tino. Honestly, just downgrade him to Fermor. Fermor is like a season hold that is just flying under the radar. So you save
100%.
some money and get the better super coach player.
Yep. Tino is, if you've got him, I think he's one of the more immediate sells this week.
Yep.
Because he'd have to do a lot to kind of leverage against that minus 55k he's facing. So even if he does a little bit better, probably still losing 50k.
Yep.
Whereas a player like Iro, for example, has a similar break even, but he doesn't have to do too much more to turn that minus 55 into a minus 25k. So
Yep.
and there's so much you can do with him. You can downgrade him to a Lasati, you can go to a firm, or you can pretty much do anything from that 687k
Mm.
range. And with most
Mm.
people having a bit of money left in their banks, if you've got like the flexibility or anything, you can almost do anything from him. So
Yeah.
I'm fully on board with selling him.
Yeah, use the money before it's gone. Shout out to the guy in the comments section that said they were doing the same trade as me. Cooper buy to Noah Martin, the one trade last week. Cooper Bye did exactly what I was afraid of, and the coach put him on after 30 minutes instead of with 30 minutes to go. He came out there, played bigger minutes, and picked up a try. So we you could say we kind of got that wrong, but at the same time, Noah Martin still outscored him, is an 80-minute player, and it is essentially a must-have. So I'm happy with the trade, but that was the kind of minute increase and the timing that I was looking for Cooper Bye. So he's a bit of a watch still, but I suspected he was kind of a slow burn. So I'm happy
Mm.
to see him make one or two price changes before I get on if it seems that they're going to increase his minutes again past this. But he did pick up a try here for this 54. So, yeah, look, if he doesn't get the attacking stat and he's still playing the sort of limited minutes, then it's okay. We can fade on Cooper Bye for a bit. There's plenty of other cash cows in the 2RF position. So, yeah, it was definitely good to see him get a bit more minutes and have a bit more impact and score a bit higher. But anyone that's still holding Cooper Bye, definitely happy to see this and keep holding him. Just be aware it's probably going to be a bit of a slow burn.
Yep. And I never plan on playing him, so that does just fine for me.
Yep.
And if, Tino is carrying something in the end, then that's probably going to be good for both Bye and Ho. Sorry,
Yep.
I'm going to have to rewire that in my brain. Cobbo with the 37, he's another guy that a lot of people are looking at getting rid of. For me, he just
Yeah.
instantly isn't that much of a priority because he's only projected to lose about 24k. He can always
Yep.
come out and score a hat trick and turn that break even
Yep.
right upside down, or he can come out and score another 30. He loses that 24k and he's looking at losing maybe 50k next week. So I'm happy
Yeah.
to give him one more chance.
He
I'm
was the
just
one I
hoping
was
the centers can go
considering.
at it in that game.
Yeah, look, I was considering him switching him down to like a Moses Leo or something this week, but look, there's only so many trades you can make each week. I've already boosted. Like,
Yeah.
I'm happy with what I've got. I think I got bigger fish to fry, and like you said, Cobbo could come out and score really well this week. He just needs to pick up a try or two. Yeah, they just did a really good job of shutting him down. He had like 18 runs in this game, but he just didn't really get any of those runs over 8 meters. Didn't really get any tackle breaks. So it was a bit of a disappointing 37. Actually, watching him play, I thought he was up for a bigger score just in base, but yeah, just not quite there. But yeah, not on the blocks just yet for me. Happy to hold, sit and see there. I do want to upgrade him to Herbie, but I guess I need to generate some cash from one of my other cheapies. So that's why I've also sort of left Moses Leo there. Like, hopefully, I can, generate some cash from like a Tom Chester or something like that, and then potentially downgrade him to like a Moses Leo to bank some of that money, and then flip Cobbo up to a Herbie or something. But yeah, I definitely want Herbie as soon as possible, and Cobbo is putting in a lot of work. So yeah, look, I wouldn't take too much away from the 37. This was a proper poo slinger. There was a great opportunity for him to run 60 meters and score a try, but it got called back as a forward pass. There's just some basic stuff going on at the Dolphins that when they click it, then yeah, Cobbo will be good. Tom Flegler, though, a bit of a problem. Took the rib cartilage injury, same thing as Drinkwater. Ended up with some pain injection. I don't think he actually got back on the field though. So Tommy Flegler, like, thought he was a slow burn anyway. Probably not a huge problem, but I'm not trading him out at this point. But yeah, look, you could for sure, if Flegler's the biggest problem in your team, you could just move him to Paseka. If you've got Paseka as well, then just downgrade him to somebody like a Ramaho if you don't have them, and try and bank some cash. But at this point for me, probably just hold Flegler because he is going to be awesome. He just, yeah, a bit unlucky with that rib cartilage injury.
For me, with Flegler, I'm actually hoping that he does have like a week off, maybe two, because if he's not playing, he's not losing money, and I can sort out other
Yeah.
shit and just put him on the back burner for a couple of weeks. Um, yeah, just one less player to think about is a lot of brain power solved sometimes. So
Yeah, and
um,
those rib cartilage injuries, like the only way for him to go away is recover, like rest. So realistically, he'll be on no contact or training.
yeah,
And if you go out there and it'll slowly get better over the week. But then if you go out there and aggravate it on game day, then all of a sudden it just puts back your recovery. So I think the smart thing to do for them is actually to rest him for a week or two, make sure he's not doing any contact and not doing anything that can re-aggravate that cartilage, and then he should come back fine.
Yeah.
Because it does go away, it does come good. It's just a matter of you can't aggravate it in the meantime, or
Yeah.
else it doesn't go away. It just lingers.
It's like worth mentioning. It's not like Drinky where he can hang out behind the pack. This is like a dude who's like constantly taking impacts and
Yeah,
can't hide away from it. But
yeah.
yeah, hopefully he's all good because we do want to see him do well in the NRL. Cool. Before we go over and have a look at our trade plans, I'll just pull up that table I was talking about. This is the same table that I used to try and figure out who had the best draw at the start of the year. So Broncos, Sharks, Raiders, not as relevant now because we're going to move over to these guys over here. Sort by this one for the highest attacking average. So we've got the Tigers, Storm, Bulldogs, Knights, and Warriors all scoring over 900 points to almost 1100 for the Tigers in their first game, which is quite the average to have. I don't think they're going to keep that up there. So that's good to know. I mean, obviously we know that, you know, the Storm, the Knights, the Wars, they've been really good in the first couple of weeks. Then this guy over here we can sort. And these are our teams to target in the red here. So we've got the Cowboys, Dragons, Eels, and Manly. So teams that on their day can put on a performance, but they're just going to be leaking a lot of points. So definitely be targeting those guys. This table will be in the description of every video if you want to go have a play with it yourself. But yeah, we'll move on to the trades for the week. What are you thinking of doing, Mac?
My trades this week, I have boosted, and obviously Drinkwater down to Farlongo is my first step. That frees up a fair bit of cash, which allows me to go Sam Walker to Nico Hines. And then otherwise, I have moved on Laiafi, my Sea Eagles Nuff from front row forward 4, moved him on for Lasati. By the way of Jules, I've put Aramaho up into front row and I've brought in Lasati. So, yep, I'm pretty happy with that. Got more cash generation. Nico Hines is a tier 1 halfback that I can keep there for the whole year. He's not going to play Origin, so I don't have to worry about that sort of time of the year as well. And yeah, Farlongo is going to make heaps of cash. Lasati is going to make heaps of cash. And Nico Hines, I missed his down week. Sure, I missed his 130 in week 1, but I also missed his 41 against the Panthers. So looking for Nico Hines to come out and average 70 or 80 for me from here on in.
Yep, and I still back the table we were just looking at. The Sharks were right at the top, so a lot of my decisions have been based on that. They have heaps of home games. There's just a lot of things they've got going for them. So I quite like Nico Hines coming in. For myself, I've done a couple of very similar moves. So we've gone Sam Walker to Nathan Cleary. And I got the money for doing that from trading Tino to Farlongo via the flex, which was a satisfying little one. So I just popped.
You only have 2 fullbacks or something?
No, I've got 3 now. Because I did.
Oh, yep. Okay.
I got Walsh in last
Tino
week.
to Farlongo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Tino to Farlongo, Walsh in last week. And then, what else did I do? Oh yeah, sold Flegler, like you did as well, pushed up Ho and got Lasati in. So that's my final trade where I'm weighing up whether it is worth using that third trade for that. And I'm pretty comfortably leaning towards the yes. Lasati's going up 100k. He's got an 80-minute roll. We're getting rid of an injured guy that could come back and be an A nightmare. So I'm happy with it. And from this point, definitely want to look at saving some trades. I think I'm going to maybe allow myself one trade per week for the next sort of 4 weeks. And if I can keep my team looking how I want to do it with just that, then I think I'll be setting myself up nicely to go aggressive for the Origin period.
If I'm probably going to be looking to make more than 1 trade per week for the next couple of weeks, by banking cash and then using that cash to upgrade somewhere else, because I really do want to strengthen my center wing. I need to get Herbie in. I've got nearly 200k in the bank. I can afford to go up to Cleary if I want instead of Hines. But you probably remember I said before, I'm going to try and fade Cleary all season, unless it becomes absolutely obvious that you need him. But with Origin looming, I don't want to mess around trading in the halfback position when I don't need to. And Nico Hines is going to be that halfback too all year, hopefully. So I'm just going to stick with that, save the trades, and hopefully that allows me to generate cash and upgrade in other positions where I need to. So yeah, look, I'll probably will do more than one trade for the next couple of weeks, but I'm going to try not to boost again unless I have to. It's going to be more make one downgrade and one upgrade each week if possible.
Yep. So I didn't even touch on boosts. I don't plan on using one. Obviously, if I'm not going to use 2 trades, I'm not going to use 3. But 4 boosts left. I think one of them I'm just going to save indefinitely for one of those weeks where everything just goes tits up, because they always happen. One going into Origin, one coming out of Origin, and then that leaves me one spare. So happy with that.
Yeah, I'm not too sure how I'm going to run it yet. I just know I need to be more conservative with trades this year than last year.
100%. And even that ended up being what brought me down at the end of the year. Even when throughout the whole year I was saying like, yeah, I need to save trades, It's very difficult to let some of these guys go through to the keeper, like a Chester, like a Moses Leo, like a Joe Chan, but you can't have them all. And if you miss out on something at the start here, provided it's not like an absolute game changer, then that will kind of even out towards the end of the year, and then that trade will still be there for you, and maybe you could save 100k and 100 ranks in that week. So
yeah, the way I'm sort of looking at it is if the guy on my team is doing their job, like if their job is to make money and they're making money, then they're not a problem. When they stop making money, that's when I'll move them on. I'm not going to jump off somebody who's set to make cash for somebody who's set to make more cash. Like that to me just seems a bit sideways. I'm going to use my trade specifically to solve problems. So if people are leaking cash, or if I have guns that aren't performing where I want them to be, then that's where I'm going to be trying to focus on. And then I will only be trading out the players when they've sort of peaked and they don't look to be making any more money. Then I'll be looking to downgrade them, bank that cash, and use it somewhere else to make upgrades, because as I do really want to buff up that center wing position. And yeah, look, I might end up with Latrell, but it'll be the 4th one that I bring in. Looking for Herbie, probably Val Holmes. Hopefully Crichton, sort of stays around or peaks and goes up a bit into that sort of top tier. Otherwise, I might have to move him on once he sort of peaks at 65 or something like that. I'll just bank the 50k, move him up to Casey McLean or something. So, yeah.
Kiraz
Probably
is
going to try
also
and
in the conversation there.
yeah,
With
Kiraz
the
actually.
Bulldogs guys.
Yeah, and that's another great point, because what I want to do is I want to target specifically in the center wing position. I want to target guys like Herbie and Kiraz that have that license to offload. And like you said before, it's basically default action for them is every time they run, they look to pop the ball out the back. So those guys, they just accumulate more super coach points than other players. So yep, Herbie and Kiraz definitely on my radar.
Beautiful. I think we can probably wrap it up there. Good stuff. So best of luck with round 3. Don't forget to join the code. Join the league, sorry. The code is 899247, $813 up for grabs so far. Don't forget to leave your comments down below with your bets. And yeah, best of luck in round 3. Good luck, everyone. Catch you later.